Hey everybody, it's Hockey. Welcome back to another video. Today's video, we are going to be talking about what I see, I think teams are going to be this season, and we've seen teams so far this season. So let's get right into this video. First team, we have the Anaheim Ducks. I put them as underdogs. They've been playing amazing hockey. I can see them being an underdog team that can easily sneak a playoff spot, and get into the AFC area. I can see this team. This team has made a huge bounce back from last year, so I could definitely see this team making a better roster and a better team. So I could definitely see this team being an 8th seeder or like a 7th seeder, like a sneaky team that is in the wild card spot. So yeah. Arizona Coyotes, I don't think they're going to have any chances here of making the playoffs. This team hasn't made, I don't even remember this team even ever making the playoffs, unless it was a year that I don't remember and I barely watched hockey that year, maybe. They're an awful team. They traded the Volak. They have some injury problems. I forgot to mention that they traded a couple players this offseason. Collect some players that are not useful, that made the team worse, like Goster Spare. That's going to make the team worse. You also traded, I think you traded Aiden Hill, and I think you got in return that Cullen like from San Jose. I don't remember, but I think that guy's not going to be useful for your team. So, yeah. Boston Bruins. Boston Bruins hasn't had the best, so I'm gonna put them as has a chance. They have a chance to make the playoffs. They maybe later on in the year they might be my top spot. Maybe later on, but not for this third of the year. I don't see them doing anything right now. But like, I could see them they have a chance to make a playoff spot. A chance to make something magic work. This is the team that I could see at least doing some work that could be a sneak. He's still close to they're a little bit closer to the has a chance than that, but I could definitely see them being an underdog team as well. So I guess what I give for the Boston Bruins. I hate the Boston Bruins and all. I'm not chirping on them by putting them there. I just being honest, and I think that's where I think I'll put them. So, I think I did one of these videos before last year of how good I think the playoff team's gonna be, and where I think they're gonna do next year. That's what I probably put them as. So this year, I put Boston Bruins there. Last year I put them up here or so. This year I put them there. Next, Carolina Hurricanes, Cup contender, definitely a Cup contender. This team has proved to me that they can be a fucking contending team that could win the cup. They added some pieces into their team. They added Anthony DeAngelo. They added Frederik Andersen. Frederik Andersen is a better goalie than Mrazek and the other goalie. They added Andy Riata. They added two better goalies. Their goaltending got fixed, but it's sad to see Nedeljkovic leave the team. But they added Kotkaniemi. They added, they did a lot of pieces that I like about this team that they added onto their roster. I'm excited to see Seth Jarvis and where he's going to land off this year. I love that player when he was with the Chicago Portlands in the WHL, I'm pretty sure. So I'm a fan of that kid. I wanted him as a Montreal Canadian. I put him as my mock draft in 2020 as a Montreal Canadian, but he didn't end up being a Montreal Canadian. We picked up Kane Gooley that year, and I think Carolina Hurricanes gonna have a better chance because they added some forward pieces, forward depth. That's what I like about this team. They did pretty good. That's why I wouldn't be mad. Like I would love to be a Carolina fan, but I had to stick with my Habs team the whole time. Next, Chicago. They did have Marc-Andre Fleury, but no, I don't think they're making the playoffs this year. By the looks of what they did, they're not making the playoffs this year. They had an awful start that I didn't like about this team. That made me kind of upset a little bit. They traded. That's what I don't like about what happened about the sexual thing, but yeah, I didn't like about they traded Fleury and they barely gave anything back. That was massive disrespect to Fleury. That made me mad. And they also even though they added Tyler Johnson and a couple more players to the roster, I don't see this team making a jump. They lost Pierce Sutter. They lost Pierce Sutter. They lost. Even though Seabrook's retired, they traded him to Tampa Bay for the cap space reasons. They I think they also traded a couple things. I don't know. So keep a lookout, Chicago this year. I don't think there'll be a team that's there. Next team. That's why I put Chicago there. Colorado had a chance on the playoff spot. They didn't have an exciting start. I thought at start of the year I had high expectations on them to be either here or a cup contender, but the looks of the start of the season, they slumped a little bit and went to here for me. They have a chance to make the playoffs, but for me to make them to be a cup contender, they would have to win a lot of more games than they are right now. If they start doing good, that in my head I'll think they could be a cup contender, but for now I don't think they're a cup contender. Since McKinnon's injured, they got rid of they didn't re-sign Grubauer, they didn't re-sign Brandon Saad. They didn't even though they re-signed David Landskog, that was a good signing, and McKellar, that was a good signing. They lost some pieces that I think that could have been much better for the team. That's why I put them there. I could see them make a chance to make the playoffs, but I don't know yet. Columbus. I'm going to say they're here. They are doing really better than Boston and Colorado and all those 4 teams in the bottom. I give Columbus this spot because they could be a wildcard team. They've been playing pretty good this season compared to last season. They were way in the bottom. This season, they're starting to go high a little bit on my expectations. I thought they weren't gonna. At 30, I was like, they're not. There's no way they're making this or this. They're making one of these two. This season, I put them here right now for having a good start of the season. They're going to be right there on my mark, and I think, and they added a couple. I think no, they didn't even add that much. Even though I love the re-sign of Patrick Laine, but they should have added more years to his fame than 1 year. They should have added 4 or 2. That would have been 2 years of his contract. So, yeah. Columbus is going to be a dark horse, I think, this year. That a lot of people are going to probably put down a lot, even though the people are going to do that. That's why I put Columbus there. That was shows. Not having the best set, but I could see them having a chance to be in the playoff spot, so they have a chance. But I don't think they're going to make it. I'm more to this side than this side because I don't want to doubt them too early. Even though they're having a good start and all, they're having a decent start and all. I think they added a couple players. They definitely added Wayne Hobie. They added Luke Glendening. They added what's that guy again from Minnesota? Ryan Sutter. They added a few pieces that could help them. But other than that, not really too much. So, I put Dallas right there. Detroit. For what they having for a good start, I could see them making a wild card spot. For what they did at start, I could see them being a wild card spot. They've been playing pretty good hockey, and we seen from a team like that they could make the playoffs. They got a chance to make the playoffs. And they can sneak a playoff spot. I honestly think they can sneak a playoff spot. Like Columbus. I agree with Columbus. They added Pierce Sutter. They added Nedeljkovic from Carolina. That helped them a lot. I think they also added what's his name? Nick Leddy. They added Nick Leddy. Moritz Seider got added to the lineup. That was awesome. They got Lucas Wayman's in there. That's amazing. He's doing fantastic. Him and Seider, they're gonna have an amazing future with Detroit. I'm a big fan of their hockey. I'm a fan of their style, and I would love. And they're one of the people that I would mostly grown up to. I would mostly love to see for years and years to come. I would watch them. I would literally watch them play because they were fun to watch. Those players. Even though I would watch Caulfield and Suzuki a lot, they were players that I would watch a lot in the future as well. With Romanoff too, I would watch those guys too with them. If they're playing each other, I would be happy. I would watch it. So yeah, that's what I give for DJ, and I could see them making a sneak. They had a great offseason with their ads. I love it. I love their idea. I love what they're doing to the team. And Bertuzzi's been playing amazing, and Larkin has been playing awesome. So I could see this team being a wild card. Florida. I'm not gonna jump to conclusions, but I think they could be a cup contender. Even though they struggled the past few games, I think they could be a cup contender. I honestly think this team could be a cup contender like Carolina. Carolina and Florida could be like the top East team might face each other for the conference final. We might see that, but we had doubts. Like we had like people saying, "Oh, Carolina and Florida could make this far," but they doubted us. But I'm hoping that this year they could make a big impact and could go really far in the playoffs. I honestly can see it. They've been playing really good hockey last year, and I would love to keep the same from this team. And they add a couple things. Spencer Knight's finally in the full roster. He was in the roster last year, but didn't play much. But this year he's mostly in the rookie roster, and I'm hoping he can play amazing this year. And I'm pretty sure there's a couple more people that they added, but I don't remember. I don't pay attention to Florida that much. I'm not a Florida mostly pay attention person. So, yeah. That's why I put Florida right there, and I think they could be a cup contender. Edmonton Oilers. Even though I want to put them there, they're a cup contender right now, since of how much defense they added the last year or two. And they added so much forwards as well, and I'm hoping that they can make better goaltending, but I can see them. They're a good team. They're a playoff contender. They're definitely a playoff contender that could sneak to an area. They're a playoff spot. They're definitely a playoff spot team. They could finally probably make it out of the first round in a long time, like a few years. Hoping they can make it far, because I would love a Canadian team to make it far. This team has the highest hope I think could make it far in the finals. Out of all the Canadian teams of the season, I could definitely see them in the finals. But I don't want to doubt them too much. I don't want to doubt them and say, oh, they're going to make the finals, and then they probably will lose in the first round. I don't want to do that. So, I'm putting them as a good team instead of a cup contender. They could be a cup contender, but I'm not counting them as contender. With their goaltending and all that, don't mark me wrong. Mike Smith is a good goalie. It's just that Koskinen and the horrible goalie history of Edmonton Oilers, they need to get a better goalie. If they get a better goalie, I could see them making a playoff spot. Honestly, I could definitely see them making. If they had Markstrom then and now, then it's like I think they offered him, but if they did, and he signed with the Edmonton, you would be in a really good spot. Even though Calgary's doing good too, they would be in a really good spot. So next team, New York Islanders. I think they're going to be underdog. They're going to sneak a playoff spot. I had high ceiling in them for the third year, like here or here. But they did drop down a little bit in my rankings, I feel like in my head. That should have been. They're a spot that I think could make a sneaky peek in the playoff spot. They haven't had the good start. They haven't had the best start, but they haven't had the worst start either. I love the add of Shera. I love the add of Parise. I love that they have Kyle Palmieri. That brings vibes. I love Sorokin. Sorokin, don't get me wrong. Sorokin, I love that goalie. And I also love Varlamov. They have a good goal. They have a good goalie tandem. And the problem with their team is their defense. They gotta fix holes in their defense. That's where I think they could fix. But with the starting forwards, they're good for the starting forwards and all that. So that's why I give Islanders right there. Next, LA Kings. Oh my goodness. You guys aren't going to expect how high I'll put them here. They're a playoff contender. They played fantastic in the start of the season. Oh my goodness. They're definitely a playoff spot. They're definitely going to be up high on a playoff spot. I don't want to say jinx them and they'll get worse, but like I'm saying, they look good, and if they keep this good up, like with winning streaks and scoring a lot of goals, they can make the playoffs. They can honestly make the playoffs, and I'm loving the energy of this team. This team was one of the teams that surprised me this year, going on to the period. But the good thing that they did, they added what's his name again? They added Victor Edvinson. They added a couple players. I'm pretty sure they added. I love Pedersen. I think it's Coder, like KO or something. It's like that. I forgot his name, but he's gonna be a good pick. And I love LA's energy. That's why I put him as number there. Next, we have the Minnesota Wild. I don't know how good they did in the start of the season, but I could go and look Minnesota Wild stats. I'm going to say record. I'm going to say 2021-2022 season record. What are their season record right now? What? Ooh, Minnesota's actually playing good. Oh my goodness. They're actually playing good hockey. I'm going to say this for a fact. Minnesota, you guys are gonna probably get mad at me, but Cup Contender. You guys are gonna get mad at me for this. Don't get mad. I'll explain right now. There is Kaprizov. I'm loving him as a player. There's a couple players that I had high expectation on. What's his name? Joe Erickson? No, it can't be. Joe Erickson Ek. It's the guy. Joe Erickson Ek is the guy that I have high hopes. Couple of goalies. Kevin Fiala. Matt Zuccarello. Couple of these players I have high hopes in this year. And we know the Minnesota goalie. Let me look. Minnesota what? We know they don't have too much of the best, but I love Cam Talbot and Kakinen. They're both really good goalies that I think they could add solid depth to their line. Their defense is so good too. I have high hopes in this team. And this might be finally their year that they're going to have a breakout in the playoffs. Finally, for once, they're going to have a breakout in the playoffs. I can see. If they make the playoffs with high points, like 90 or like 95 or so, or 100, they're definitely going far in the playoffs. I'm counting you guys. This team's a dark horse, and they're underdogs too. They should be underdogs too. If they are 8th seed, like if they under the seeds and they make the playoffs, I think they're gonna be underdogs. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though I don't want to always put high hopes on the teams, I'm gonna call right now. I have high hope on this team. High hope on Minnesota. Montreal Canadiens. Even though they don't have the best shot, they have a chance. We've seen they started playing good lately and all, but if they can keep playing good, get at least 1 point a night or 2 points a night, it's still going to help us a lot to get into a playoff spot. It's still going to help. It's still going to help us get into a playoff spot. Even though you guys are saying that there's no way Montreal's making the playoffs. There's no way Montreal's making the playoffs. Come on, guys. Come on. We still have to have hopes on this team. Even though Allen had a collision during the Detroit game tonight. Or last night. As the video will get released. I still think this team can honestly have a chance. They're the same as Boston. They have a chance on making a playoff spot. Any team is mostly has a chance, but like a couple teams that I don't see making a chance, but a couple teams that I do. So that's why I'm putting myself in there. They added a couple players like Mike Hoffman this offseason, Kristen Dvorak, Chris Lyman. I love Chris Lyman. Chris Lyman is one of the players that I love that Montreal added this offseason. He adds so much depth to the lineup. He adds huge depth. I love David Savard. David Savard is another piece into the lineup. Even though I think Martebo is not a good goalie, I'm still excited. I'm still not mad about him getting claimed by Montreal. I think he could be a decent piece to the goalies. If there's injuries, he can probably solve a hole. Hey, come on, guys. The only reason why Montreal's not doing good as they are, let's face it, Price and Weber's out. They're mostly the big piece reasons why we're not doing good. If Weber and Price was in that, we mostly would be a good team. It's just that Price and Weber out. Goalie depth is not helping. Price is injured, so a goalie is not helping a lot. I think Jake Allen is doing pretty good for himself, even though Price was injured. We gotta give applause to Allen. He's trying his best every night. I actually love Allen. He's a good goalie. It's just that the team can struggle sometimes. So that's why I put Montreal there. I think they have a chance. Nashville. Wild card. No, actually, no, not wild card. A playoff spot. They're definitely making the playoffs, I think. Of where the team's going, they improved. We gotta give hopes. They improved. But for the fact, this team mostly only goes in the first round. It gets out in the first round or the second round. It's facts. Sometimes they if they're lucky, they can make a conference, but they made the finals in 2018. But that doesn't change the fact. That they're gonna always make that far. I'm gonna spit facts here. Nashville does make the playoffs like 90% of the time every year. Like 90% of the time, like most of the years. But they mostly get out in the first or second round. It's true. It's just true facts. We're spitting facts here. Boys and girls. Whoever's watching this video. Even though they added I'm sorry about it's a huge miss when Pekka Line retired. But Juice Sales is a good goalie. He's a good goalie. Spitting facts. I forgot who they added a couple this offseason, but whoever they added and all that helped this team. I can give chance. New Jersey. I'm saying the same. They can make the playoffs too. They're a good team. They can make the playoffs. They have excited my hopes this year. In the start of the year, I thought they were going to slip to like the chance or not. But this year, they have my high hopes. Doozy Hamilton added their defense. Doozy Hamilton helped their defense. Jack Hughes is a god. He shoved the defense. And then we have, forgot his name, from Colorado they added this offseason. I think Joad or something? Let me look. I think Joad got added. Yeah. I think it's Samuel Joad. Yeah. It has to be Samuel Joad. No, it's not Samuel Joad. It's, New Jersey Devils lost. We gotta look this up real quick. Boys. You know they have Deucey Hill and all that. We're gonna have to look this up. Oh, it's Ryan Graves. Ryan Graves is the one that they added that helped them a lot. You know, even though the goaltending needs fixing, they have good depth forwards. I love that. I love how I love what they added this offseason with the defense. They're gonna be a good defense team, one of the tops in the NHL. So I have high hopes. New York, we gotta all say they have a chance. They have not a chance. They can sneak a playoff spot. They play decent so far in the season. Don't make me wrong. They had a good start, but I'm leaning it mostly to a sneak than this. Don't get mad. I could definitely see them being a playoff spot, but I'm gonna mark them there. New York Rangers has been a team that flukes higher in the first round. Every playoff, most likely. They fluke in the first round. Or when we had 2020. When we had 2020 qualifiers, they fluked. They literally got swept by the Carolina Hurricanes. Don't get me wrong, Carolina Hurricanes was a good team. They destroyed them. They destroyed them because they're a good team. Don't get me wrong, but they fluke in the first round. But even though I could see them make the playoffs, I'm pretty sure they can make it. But there'll be a sneak. They'll be front running these four teams, I can see. Or in the playoff spot with these people. So yeah. Ottawa, even though Ottawa's like tied or close to Montreal's stats, no, they're not making the playoffs. Every year now I see Ottawa cannot make a playoff spot. They're rebuilding right now. What do you expect? They're not going to make the playoffs in a few years. They're going to make it in like 5 years or so, 4 years or so, 4 or 5 years, that they'll start being good. They have a good future. Don't make me wrong. They have Brady Tkachuk and all that. Jake Batherson, Tim Stützle, they have players that can easily help them, but I don't think they have a chance to make the playoff spot. Philadelphia, they could sneak too. That's one of the teams that I think could make a sneak too. Flyers has improved this season though, for a fact. We already know that they improved for a fact. So yeah, I have not much to say about that. Even though they added Martin Jones and all that. That's what I say. And Gospel Spirit's gone. A couple of the players they have Ryan Ellis that helped them. So yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins, we're gonna put them as a playoff spot. They can make a playoff spot. Let's put them as a playoff spot. They added Danton Heinen. Even though Jared McCann's gone to Seattle. So they still have a good team. Tristan Jerry's is improved this season. Casey DeSmith is going to be a good backup. We've seen Sidney Crosby's I think Sidney Crosby's back. If he is, it's good for them. Good news for them. So yeah, I don't have much to say about this team, but good job on improving. Next, San Jose has a chance. Like Montreal, I think they have a chance. Like Montreal, Dallas, Colorado, Boston. Didn't see much by San Jose. They have improved. I thought they were gonna go down here, but they're down up here. So this video, not this video. I mean, that's where I'm gonna put them. They added Adam Hill. That was a good sign. That was one of the reasons why I put them up here, because Adam Hill could boost a little confidence for the team. We've seen Evander Kane's not playing. We know Evander Kane got suspended for a long time, for like a month or so, like 20-some games suspension. So he's gonna be back mostly around close to the end of this month. He's coming back. So yeah, that's what I want to say about the team. They only had a few parts this offseason. Next, we have the Seattle Kraken. They're a new team. They fluked a little bit this season. They had struggles. You know they have Grubauer, Jim McCann, Alexander Wedberg. They have Adam Larson and Alexiak. Joe Dowd and all that. They don't have a bad defense core. They definitely don't have a bad goalie core. They have a good goalie core. It's just that their offense needs a little bit of improving. They're going right here on my list. Most people probably would have thought they were going to go right here and not be a playoff. Probably won't even make playoffs, people thought. But I could see them be a chance, like at least 10% chance, like 8 to 10% chance that they could make the playoffs. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but maybe during the season if they approve, it could go higher. But for now, I'm putting them here as 8 or 10% chance of making the playoffs. St. Louis improved. We're gonna put them as a good team. They added a couple players. Brandon Saad from Colorado. I think they added, they didn't add that much, but that's all I want to say. Tampa Bay were Cup contenders at the start of the year. Like, no, before the start of the year, because, like, the offseason they looked like they could be a three-peat. They lost some players, like, what's the players? Gould, they lost Gould, Yanni Gould, they lost Tyler Johnson, they lost a couple players, and I know that for a fact. And we know that McElhinney is retired. That's why he's gone from the team. They were here when I first saw them, like before the offseason. They were going to be here. But I first looked. But now I can see they're gonna go here. My prediction. That's all I'm saying about this team. And I'm gonna put them right there. And I'm sticking by my word. They're going right there. Because Brent Seabrook, I don't know why they would take his awful cap. Why would you want to pay that guy who's retired? Toronto, I don't like Toronto, but they're going to go right here. They're a playoff contender. They did add a couple players. Nick Ritchie, they added, Nick Ritchie, on their cost. I forgot. Cascio, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but they added him. Just tell me below, or tell me like in somewhere, how do you pronounce his name? They added what's his name again? From Chicago. It's one of the people they added from Chicago. I'm pretty sure. That's all I think and they added I love this tandem, but Mrazek and Campbell. That's a good tandem. They didn't. I love that tandem. Even though Frederick Anderson and Campbell were not bad tandems, I think they're trying. I feel like they're trying to do this offseason. They're trying. That offseason they're trying to build off it, and they're trying. I think they're trying their best. I think they're trying their best to maybe try to get themselves off the first round this year. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even if they make the first round, I don't think they're gonna be out of it this year. I think they gotta fix some holes in the May trade deadline, or in off season if they don't make the last first round. They gotta make some big moves. I could see it if they get out of the first round this year again. This is where I put them. They always play good in the season. Guys, don't make me wrong. They always play good in the season. Then when it's close to off season, because when it's playoff time, they struggle. They mostly lose in 7 in the series. When Game 7 comes, they struggle hard sometimes. And in Game 7, they lose their mind and then lose. Vancouver has a chance. Don't want to say why, but yeah. Vegas, from what they did, I'm gonna put them here. They have a spot because they did improve. They got, that's good news. I love that they got Jack Eichel. That was a good pickup. Even though it's Rip Alex Tuck to Buffalo and Rip Peyton Krebs, their prospect Peyton Krebs. Krebs was their prospect, but they had to get him to get Eichel. Eichel's a star. To be honest, I'm gonna let you guys know that for a fact. Don't let me wrong, but you can't disagree. You guys cannot disagree that Eichel, if you want to get someone like Eichel, you gotta give something that is gonna make it. You mostly want to give anything you want, they want. Just to get Eichel. Eichel's a superstar. It's gonna be a superstar when he's fully primed. But Vegas, they haven't added much this offseason, other than Zenny added off from Ottawa. So that's where I put them. Washington Capitals. Ooh, they're gonna be a playoff spot. I could see a playoff spot off them. We know the East mostly has been filled this season, than the West. Once you look at the West are mostly filled out of bottom teams and up top. We have 3 teams left after this. Washington. Ovechkin's playing like a beast right now, so if he keeps going on this pace, I can actually see him pass Gretzky. I can honestly see him pass him and probably be the best player in the world. I can honestly see it. If he keeps scoring like 70-some goals a year, at least 60 or 70-some, he's going to pass Gretzky. Honestly. He's still going on to the pace that he could do it. So yeah, Winnipeg. They're gonna be a sneak peek team. They have been most of the time sneak peek team. Vegas was not mostly a sneak peek. They were mostly on top here, one of these two. But this year I'm putting them there. Calgary Flames, we're gonna put them as a good team. They can make the playoffs. They improved higher this offseason. They did add a lot of pieces in the last 2 off seasons. The top season that this happened, and the other off season they mostly added a lot. I don't even know why even though Calgary offered Matthew Tkachuk and Cole People, I don't even know why they didn't take the offer. You got a superstar and a first-round pick off that. I don't know why you would want to take that offer, but to get a better player that would help your team. I bet you they made it. Yeah. And last and foremost, Buffalo Sabres. I'm gonna put them here. They improved a little bit. I could see them being a sneak peek to the playoffs, and I think this could be the year that they could sneak for the first time in over a decade. They've been playing hard hockey and all that. So, yeah. Just that's all my explanations, and this is all of what I'm going to do. Just for a video. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to drop subscribe, like different notifications. If you guys didn't enjoy, make sure you comment down below what things I should make to improve my content, and I'll do it, and I'll see if I can fix it and that. I'm sorry this took probably a while, like 30-some minutes almost. So, because I was explaining a lot of things about the teams, and all that. And we might make like a season prediction, maybe a video of what we think the team could look like. So this for the team. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe, hit notifications already. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.